Welcome to the Left Behind Game Club. This week we play Warhammer, the End Times, Vermintide. We did a lot of things. We killed a lot of rats, but I guess we also sold some old-timey radios?
But, like, you'll walk through and they'll be like, oh, there's a Rattling gunner back there.
Exactly.
And then you're like, where? Where? And
every time.
I feel like I heard it
An
faintly.
ad man from the 20s? Like,
Yeah.
Let me sell you some Vermintide there, son.
Whenever, like...
best radios in town, the most transistors, the most stations.
Vermintide. Get them fast.
You're listening to the Left Behind Game Club.
Welcome to the Left Behind Game Club, our never-ending attempt to make sure that no game is left behind. I'm your host, Jacob McCourt, and with me today, three friends, two of which you know. I'll start first with Michael Ruffolo.
I'm excited to talk about good games.
I am too. And our second friend that you know, Mo Murtadi.
Let's play.
Third friend, you don't know him yet, but you will, is Kevin Reaburn.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course.
So cute. Yes.
We were looking forward to having you on.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, why don't you tell us, what do you like in the world of video games?
So I kind of think I relate to you, Jacob, and to you, Mo. Where
Not me. Not
Jacob,
me
I'm not good at video games, so I relate to Jacob.
Yeah.
Not Roofy.
I stink.
Yes. You said that before on the pod, so I thought...
You've played Fortnite with me now.
I have played Fortnite. I play Fortnite and Rocket League mainly right now.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm supposed to play Hearthstone. And then I'm like Mo, where I like guns and I don't like to read. So
You summed me up in a nutshell. I can't even add on
so
to that.
this is a great game for you then.
I mean, I'm not just like trying to put you in a nutshell, but some qualities.
But that's the nutshell that Mo lives in.
Pretty
Yes.
much. It's a general consensus of what I like and don't like about games.
Yeah.
And how I play them. I don't want to spend my time reading.
You read enough during the day, right?
Yeah, have someone talk. Just move those lips and just tell me when I need to go. You need to go to the tower. I don't want to read to go to the tower. Just tell me to go there.
So the game we have today is an interesting one for us. It's Warhammer, the End Times, Vermintide.
What a title.
Yeah.
What a title. And do you know why it's called that?
No, tell me.
Yeah.
So it's actually three separate things. So Warhammer, we know, is a world
Tabletop
games
RPG-ish.
workshop. You got it. The End Times is, in their world, what they call the Great Cataclysmic Apocalypse that was prophesied to bring about the end of Warhammer.
Okay.
And then Vermintide is what they call the Skagen, the race of rodent-like creatures that have come to Uberstrike.
All the rats that you slaughter.
Oh my god, there's so many rats.
Rats to the slaughter.
This game was developed and published by Fatshark, and they have an interesting story. Do you want to hear it now, or do you want to hear
of course.
it later?
Yes.
Hit
Okay.
me with it.
So, do you guys remember Grin?
I do.
What did Grin make?
I don't remember what they made.
I'm putting you on
They
the
were a
spot.
Swedish developer.
They are.
Did they make Bionic Commando?
You got it. They made Bionic Commando
That weird
Rearmed,
nerd memory.
the reboot of Bionic Commando. They also did the PC ports of Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, both of them.
Whoa.
And then they put out Terminator Salvation and the Wanted video game. And according to reports, those are the games that kind of put the company in a bad spot.
Huh.
They also had a deal with Square Enix that went under. So Grin's... Go
Didn't
ahead.
they? Oh, Grin. Sorry, that was all Grin.
That was all
Okay,
Grin.
Okay.
So Grin splits up. Overkill is one of the studios that comes from that. They make the Payday games. Might and Delight is another. They made PID. And then this company has their own engine. The only other company that uses the engine is Fatshark. Fatshark makes Bionic Commando Rearm 2. They make a game called War of the Roses, which, if you YouTube it, it looks exactly like this game. And
They also
then
made Guns and Gold, right?
they made Guns and Gold as
Which
well.
I played and enjoyed.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you play... What's that Hamilton game they do too? The Adventures of Hamilton. Either
I
way,
just trust you.
they made their own engine too. They sold it to Autodesk. It's a long story. They used the money from their engine that they sold to Autodesk to fund the creation and publishing of Warhammer, the End Times,
Wow.
Vermintide. I did a lot of research here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why? They published it themselves.
It's self-published.
Wow.
It's their first self-published game as well.
So licensed, but also self-published.
Yes.
Interesting.
They-
That's not an arrangement I'm used to seeing.
No. What is the normal arrangement for this kind of stuff?
Normal arrangement is that a large publisher licenses out the IP of, Warhammer, for example, and then sends out RFPs to different teams and says, we want to make a Warhammer game that's an RTS.
RFP is?
Request for proposal. And then they say, we want to make a game that's an RTS Warhammer game. And so different studios will make their pitches on it, and then one of them will likely be granted a pitch, and then a game comes from that. They agree on the terms. So it's very odd to see an independent studio get the licensing rights to a game, which is usually a lengthy, financially intensive affair, and then pump a game out that they publish.
And you have played, Mo, the Warhammer RTS, right?
So with all the Warhammer, I'm going to put in Dawn of War, all of that stuff.
Yep.
I have no idea what's what and what's connected to what. So just recently I picked up Dawn of War, I think Warhammer 3 or something. It's the recent RTS that they released maybe a year ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I literally just got exposed to, I guess, the workshop Warhammer world recently, maybe a couple months ago, so I have a little bit of experience, but it's from the past couple weeks or so.
And those games, I believe, are made by Creative Assembly, and they're published by Sega.
Right, that sounds
Sega
right.
seems like it's familiar. It pops up before. I'm pretty sure, but I can't.
Those games always reminded me of Supreme Commander.
Yes, and that is made by... I
don't remember who it's made by, but I'm pretty sure it's published by Sega.
Yes. And I think those rights were just purchased by who makes Borderlands? Gearbox. Gearbox now owns Homeworld.
Oh, really?
Homeworld? No, I'm
Supreme
thinking
Commander.
Homeworld.
Okay.
You're thinking Supreme Commander.
Right.
Anyway, Warhammer 40K. Also, I've played Space Marine. Have you guys played that game?
I feel like I might have, like a trial, or I was at someone's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's it.
A lot of games in the universe. All that to say, today we're playing this game, Warhammer the End Times Vermintide.
Finally.
We're here. Do you want to tell the story of how you played the game? Starting with Mike, how did you play this game?
Sure. So I played this game with Jacob and Kev on the Xbox One because it was last month's free game with gold, or one of the many free games with gold. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to jump in and play with some friends and play co-op. And I'm so glad that we played co-op. Mo, how did you play it?
It's PC Master Race never
PC Master Race all alone.
We stay on Steam. We play on that computer, that mouse and keyboard all day. Was it the free game for February of 2018?
December, I think.
December 2017.
I think it was one of those games that bridged December and January.
Guys, so is it available like right now, like as we're recording this? No, it's
It's
done.
on sale right now on the Humble Bundle.
Gotcha.
I believe it may have just lapsed.
Okay.
Like as of the recording of this, like 2 days ago on Xbox. Like
Yeah.
they moved on because they move at mid-month. Some of their games, it's strange.
Yeah,
but-
the reason why I said that is because I picked it up on crazy sale. I think I messaged it to you, Mike. I think I bought it for $6 on one of the Humble Bundle sales. So that's good news for anyone that's listening. You'll probably be able to pick it up for something like that once any of those sales stop by.
It'll probably also continue to go on sale as Vermintide 2 is about to drop.
Yeah, I'd say
Try and get as many people in and familiar with the IP as they can.
And Kev, you played with us, but have you played any other game in the Warhammer universe before?
No, and I haven't really played any other game that was first person as this is, like where you have both hands coming out of each side of the screen. So I'm very new to this.
cool.
To this genre.
Did you play BioShock at all? No?
No,
No? Okay.
I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, should we just say immediately what this game immediately evokes?
Left 4 Dead.
It's
2.
Left 4 Dead. It's exactly Left 4 Dead.
The
There's
funniest-
a tank.
Yeah.
There's a witch.
There's characters that you choose, and each one has a specific type of weapon, and you destroy hordes of things while completing objectives, whether it's collecting resources or running to the end of a semi-linear direction towards an end goal.
There's ammo boxes that you signal. There's health kits that look exactly the same that you signal to people. They bandage themselves up, look just like they do in Left 4 Dead. There are swarms of an enemy that come at you and are very easily killed. It's Left 4 Dead. But it's real good.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I think when we first decided we were going to be playing this, and I downloaded it, started playing like a level or two. I don't know if you guys started or not at that time, but I messaged in our Discord channel that we have going saying like, guys, this is like Left 4 Dead 2, right? There's no story. Like looking for confirmation because I think this is the first game we've played where it's not a linear storyline or something crazy, and it threw me off guard because I didn't get any direction. It was just like, hey, this is the game we're playing. Just open it and go. And literally, as I'm playing, I'm like, "It's Left 4 Dead 2, right?" I felt like I was just playing like a Spec Ops or a Zombies mode, and I'm completely missing the game. And then later
You
on,
had a
I'm like,
nagging voice in your head like, am I playing the right game?
literally exactly what's going on. And then eventually, actually, because what I started doing the past couple of games is once I finish one, I'll like watch a couple of reviews online to see like other perspectives, so I can prepare that's my research for and preparing what other thoughts might be coming out of it. And I think in the first like 30 seconds of the first review I saw is like, essentially it's Left 4 Dead 2 but with different characters.
What did you get from the story? If I like, let's just get it out of the way. What did you get from the story?
So I didn't even know there was a story until I went afterwards. After we played co-op, I was trying to like impress you guys and play solo and, you know, get good swords so that I could kill more rats for you. And like when I started the game, there was like this like cut sequence of like scenes, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should listen to this. I always just press A and hold and like get through this.
Guess what I did? I pressed play and I got through it.
That's why you guys relate. You relate and so hard to each other.
It was really well done, that little thing, and I was like,
great cinematic.
This is what the story's about. Like I knew there was like rats were taking over the world or something.
Like an obvious thing.
Yeah,
you know?
like because I mean there's a lot of rats in People Town, places.
People Town and people places.
Yeah, there was rats coming out of it. And so I was like, okay, so rats took over the world. You need to kill them all. But then they did this nice little thing to set the story, and I just
what was it? Because I don't
blew it off.
Yet.
So
Mike's looking at me. He's like, "Oh."
Okay, so let me take a crack at it. When you play the training mission,
there's a training
mission, and I made sure it's weird because the training mission is in the main menu. It's not when you click start game. So I went into the training mission because I realized that this game seemed very complicated. There are a lot of different options and slots and things that you could maneuver and change around. And so I went into the training mission, and I realized that takes place just before the main game. That is like the prologue to the prologue. And you are the one who kind of looks like a rat. That's kind of fuzzy. Virillion or Carillion or something like that. With the two blades and the bow and arrow. And you have to go and save Barty, the little dwarf bud.
Barden Gorikson.
Yes, little Barty. And save our little Gimli. And then you learn how to kill rats, and then you move on, and they keep having this discussion about, we need to go to Ubersreich. And they end up finding out that they have to go there together to save the town or the city. And then the opening cinematic is fantastic. It talks about how man has not had any trouble with any creature on Earth that it hasn't been able to domesticate with steel or sword. And then these great shots of the Skaven, these humanoid rats that are eating other rats, and how they have just exploded in population and they're coming to take over the world. And so they come from the depths and they have taken over the cities. And you, as a character, from what I gather, is going through trying to reclaim each city or each area one by one until you get to the end of the game. Spoilers, when it all essentially explodes and they set up Vermintide 2.
Yeah. Is it Chieftain Crench? Is that the name of the final wizardy ratty guy?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
It's a good memory you have, Jake.
It's this note in front of me. I said it's Chieftain Crench. There are different types of enemies as well. I think there's 10 different types of enemies. Do we want to kind of explain?
Well, you know what? Even before we even get that, I want to kind of explain, like, as you start the game, the reason why there's a little bit of confusion is Left 4 Dead 2, what's going on? What are we doing? I turned the game on, and then you're in an inn because I skipped everything and I didn't know about this training level.
Of course you did.
So you appear in this like inn, I guess, little wooden cabin area where there's like a bar. There's some tables where you
can drink the beer.
You can drink the beer.
You can drink the beer.
Yeah, and then get in fist fights.
You get in drunken fist fights with everyone else at the end. Oh my! It's so fun.
And if you press the right combination of buttons, they do the little "I'm looking at you."
Okay, so
Marcus Kruber gives the eye pointing.
So we just figured out the biggest first take home that everyone should take when they listen to this podcast.
Can we say it on 3? 1, 2, 3. Don't play it alone.
Drink the beer.
So essentially, what Jacob tried to help us do there was, don't play it alone.
That didn't work at all.
Play it with
we were on
some
different
people.
pages.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mo. We keep interrupting.
Yeah,
you.
no worries. No, play it with people because I missed drinking the booze of the inn. You get to have a fist fight in there. That's pretty cool. Whereas me, I'm playing it lost, confused. I click on the little map to choose a mission. I'm like, okay, that one looks open. So I click on that. Find someone who's playing in it, like in the world somewhere. I think I played like people across the world. No one really used their mic.
It's PC. What do you expect?
I would almost say we had the ideal experience because not only did we play like 3 of us in a party of up to 4, we had a spirit guide that kind of guided us through.
Just
when
the
we
sweetest human being. Toasty Coast.
Yeah.
Just the sweetest person I could have ever expected to bump into in a game about killing rats.
Yeah.
Killing rats en masse.
Yeah, and I'm pretty bad. Like, I was pretty bad at this game, and she was like, no, it's okay, we'll get it next time. Like, it was like
really bad at the start of this.
Why? You just press the trigger button.
Mo, don't get me started.
She was
Don't get me started,
Wait,
Mo.
wait. First of all, what character did you play?
So at first I was flamethrowing girl.
Okay.
What was her name?
You were the bright wizard Sienna Fuegonesis.
So the mage, I guess.
Fuegonesis.
Yes. And then I became the witch doctor, which was Victor Salsbury.
Victor Salspire, which is a great name.
Is that the twin pistol sword guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that guy too.
I thought you were playing that Legolas character.
So I love Legolas. He's my man.
Uh-huh.
And bow and arrows are what I love to play no matter what. I started off with that, but then when I joined the lobby, I had a situation where someone's like, "Oh, this person's playing Legolas. You have to pick something else." And that's when I switched to the Witch Doctor because that was the only one that was available, and I played a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. I think the only other one I tried was the Mage because both of those were picked in another game I tried to join. I didn't try the Dwarf much. I didn't try the Imperial Soldier guy.
Gimmers.
I tried Gims for one day or one game, and I didn't.
You were not liking it.
No, I wasn't. The reload. The reload on his little crossbow was too long for me. So then I switched to the mage, and it was just like
guaranteed headshots though, because I loved Barden Gorikson, the Dwarf Ranger, because his bow you could literally auto aim to a headshot almost every time once you learn how to get it going. And I started with the. Who did I start with?
You started with Marcus Kruber.
No, I started with Carillion.
Which one's that?
The furry one.
The furry one with the Legolas, the dagger and bows.
Yeah.
And
okay, Legolas.
Hated it. Just because the daggers, I didn't know the weapons at first. I'm not like, these daggers are the only weapon she has. These suck.
Yeah.
Low damage, high amount of times you can hit them, but I'm just like, I can do way better. Because Mike rolled this amazing sword when we started, so he would just walk up to guys and be like, they're dead.
Yeah.
Slow down. First.
Yes.
I remember playing a couple missions where Jacob was playing as Carillion, the Legolas character, and Marcus Kruber. And to put it politely, it did not go very well.
I sucked really badly.
But then he took on the little Gimli character, little Barty, and it was a party. And holy cow, did Jacob just suddenly turn on beast mode, because he was able to just snipe people with his little crossbow. And the number of times that our whole party was dead or dying on the ground, and all you saw was this little dwarf running around patting people on the butt trying to get them to stand up.
I think I might have rolled some crazy sword early too, but with the Witch Doctor, because there was one point where one of the missions was you're at a dock and there's hold your ground until the ship comes, and I found this. I climbed up this ladder, I put my back towards a wall, and I just let them all come to me, and they're all climbing up this little ledge, and I just kept slicing and dicing, and I don't think I got a single shot for a good 3 minutes. Yeah. It was slice, wielding it.
That long sword.
That's what I had.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. It takes out 4 at a time.
I call it crowd control.
Flying.
That's what I used at that one time. It was great, but I still would switch back to the bow
rapier.
And arrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I love that multi-click, that fire.
Wait, who got the bow and
arrows.
arrow?
That was Toasty.
Oh,
that was
Carillion.
Carillion,
Gotcha.
Yeah, the quick fire, just launching and just take. For example, if you have the Witch Doctor standing at a doorway and slicing people around, if you're just behind him firing a barrage, you're just easing the load and clearing people away pretty quickly if you kind of played it that way.
I have to say that the Witch Doctor, probably I would say the best character.
The Witch Hunter.
Which
is that what he is?
Witch Hunter?
Victor?
Okay, yeah. Victor Saltspire.
Mm-hmm.
His pistol combo was fantastic for getting aggro on the big ogres, the tanks.
Yeah.
And the rapier was hot garbage. It's a hot mess. But the second that you play that game for, 2 hours, and you're able to roll a very basic longsword, you just become the most overpowered character in the game. You just roll around doing crowd control, just just mowing down rats as they run towards you.
Until a choker grabs you and snatches you away, and you're too far away from your team, and you get like destroyed.
So we got very collective when it came to the chokers and the assassins.
We became very collective.
Yes.
I think at first,
Stay near me,
especially me, I would be like, guys, I'm getting choked. Guys, I think I'm on this stake. Guys, I'm dead. And Mike would just come by and he's like, I got this big sword. I got this. And just one swing and everyone will be dead.
And now it's starting to make me think, why did you give me that character? And it's probably because he's the most overpowered character, and I probably needed the most help.
Literally, this is applicable because you like playing chess. It's chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
It's about having the
strategic.
strongest team, not being the strongest character.
Did you actually do that?
Yes.
Did you give him?
You're a terrible person.
You actually did that? I thought I was like, I want to switch characters. I want to get more experience of this game. And Mike's like, yeah, take mine. I'll be you.
The calculations are already done. He's like, this is perfect. We're gonna win this game.
Yeah. At the beginning of the day, he's like, how can I get Kevin to be the witch doctor?
He's like, here, take my password to my Xbox Live account and just sign into me.
I have a great weapon. You can just use that.
Yeah.
I like playing video games with friends, even if my friends are not good at video games.
You say that, but then remember the one game where he just went like quiet.
Yes.
Zero Dark Mike. He just went silent, and we're like, "Uh-oh."
Because we screwed up. We screwed up.
Mike is annoyed.
Yeah. I think we let you die? Was that the thing? You needed help, and we just left you.
In that specific instance, when I went very quiet, it was because we had just cleared out the area, and we were waiting to move on to the next area. But, like in most of these Left 4 Dead style games, if you hang out in an area, the AI director will continue to send small little hordes at you. And so what you need to do is just to continue to push through the level. And so I was, ready to continue to push through the level, and my teammates were busy making sure they killed every single last Skaven. And
we were looking for the dice.
Yeah, just looking for the dice.
What do you mean you're looking for the dice?
Oh, Jacob, explain the dice.
So this is, I feel, my favorite part of the game. So Ranald's bones. At the end of every level, you would get die. And you would get 7 die. So if you just finished the level, you would get 7 die that give you 2 out of 6 chance to get a good weapon. So imagine there's a cup, and you're throwing dice into this cup. And on the right hand of the screen, there's like a ladder that's basically like, hey, if you get 1 die, you're gonna get this common weapon. If you get 3, you're gonna get this green, better weapon. But also, if you get all your dice and you roll them all, you're going to get this amazing weapon at the top. So as you go through the level, you can collect tomes, you can collect cursed die that are either in chests or just laying around. And these either tomes, am I saying it right? I said tombs the whole
tomes.
time.
I don't know.
Every time I said it.
Toasty said tomes.
Okay.
It's tomes.
So tomes, you would get better dice that would give you a higher chance of rolling a great weapon. In addition, and this is a thing that I only found out today, is that one time we got into a level and someone collected something called a grimoire. Mm-hmm. And what the grimoire does is it's like a dice, except when you collect it, your max health gets cut down for the entire rest of the level. Remember that one time where we were like, why is our health bar gone?
It's a skull from Halo.
Exactly. So it's a skull from Halo. It's a grimoire. You collect it, your max health goes down, but you get an automatic dice that will give you like something.
Cool.
So that's the dice system in the game.
Interesting.
And you roll every time you completed the level. If you didn't complete a level, all of your progress and all of your great dice are gone.
Yeah. There's one level I remember playing in particular where every time there was something to be picked up, there's one person who's like, everyone come here. And then we'd walk up there and he's like
the lore pages.
Yeah, someone pick this up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of times. Well, just that one game in particular. I wish I played it with friends.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment to also just go back and thank
our spirit guide?
Spirit guide. We were some lowly level 1s, 2s, and 3s, just struggling our way through missions. I think we all started on normal because normal seems like a normal place to start. Yeah. And we were just losing nonstop. And we had an open spot in our party. And this fantastic level 17 rolled in. And she was just the sweetest human being.
Yeah.
And taught us everything about the game with the most amount of patience.
But at first, she wasn't in our party. So, like, we had a party going, and she was, by herself. And we're just like, why don't we invite... And we tried to do it 1 or 2 other times, and nobody did it. Dude? We're like, why don't we invite this person? And, we invite her in, and it was like... It was amazing finding a spirit guide who taught us how to play the game I don't think I've had like a more positive experience with someone just like a random on the internet in a long
There
time.
are great people in the world. Who
There
knew? Like, I didn't know. When we sent the invite, I'm like, how? Like, I go worst case scenario. Like, how old is this kid? Like, is he going to be like 7 and say how bad I am at video games? Because I already know. And it was just the nicest person in the world. And she was like, oh, I've only been playing for 2 days. And we're like, we've only been playing for 2 days.
You're like 3 times the level of
Yeah.
this.
By 2 days, she meant 48 hours.
Yeah. Straight.
Yeah.
And we had a really great, like, epic story that I think we'll tell a little bit later, but should we talk about the different enemy types first?
Let's go through it. So there are the boss type characters, and those get triggered at certain points throughout the level, usually when you're close to completing your objective or when you hit the halfway point. And the boss type characters are the Rat Ogre, which if you've played Left 4 Dead, it is the tank. It's just this big, aggro, really beefy rat that runs at you. When they hit you, they throw you across the map. They just kill you very quickly and can absorb a lot of damage.
So much.
And really the strategy has to be everyone just focuses fire and attack on this rat ogre, take care of it as quickly as possible.
Rotate
and then,
aggro, if
exactly. It's tough to rotate aggro when you got the witch doctor out there.
Doesn't he pull aggro
Witch hunter.
the most or something?
He does.
Yeah.
Those 2 pistols, they just rapid fire. It's like a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then, don't think about it too hard because they're flintlock pistols. Like, how does he rapid fire these pistols? But it's a video game and...
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. In a game where there's dwarves and actual witches
And also
throwing
it's
fireballs.
the future, right?
Is it the future?
It's like 2500, isn't that the Warhammer
Wow.
canon?
And
because there's Warhammer and there's Warhammer 40,000, right? Someone
okay.
that is a fan is just going to be like, these guys are the worst. I think there's different like timelines, and I think this is like the 2500 timeline.
That would make sense to me, considering there's magic and it looks kind of medieval, or not quite medieval, Victorian-esque. So there's the Rat Ogre. There's the Rattling Gunner, which is a giant rat.
easy to take down.
Pretty easy to take down
Yeah.
if you're not the center of attack.
Yeah.
So the Rattling Gunner stands usually off in the distance with this big machine gun and just unloads and can kill you very quickly if you're the person it's attacking, because it's hard to attack and take it out when you're constantly under fire.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, you need a teammate around to take care of it or to pull aggro while you're under fire.
And also your secondary weapon is tied to, it's a limited use item, so like you have ammunition for it. So if your bow or your gun is out of ammo and that Rattling Gunner is far away, you're gonna have a really rough time beating it.
You know what's cool about
which
this
is
game,
why
though?
which is why you definitely need the witch in your party.
Yeah, the cool thing about this game, maybe I noticed it a little bit more, but you guys probably did, is the direction that the AI usually gives you when you don't know where you're going. There's small little hints like, maybe we shouldn't run up this area. We've been here before. Like small little quirks they kind of shoot there.
Yeah, so I found that out when I played solo, because when I was playing with you guys, I'm very distracted. So I had like the regular Xbox headset on, and I'm just listening to them. But like you'll walk through and they'll be like, "Oh, there's a Rattling Gunner back there."
Exactly.
And then you're like, "Where? Where?" And
every time.
I feel like I heard it
An
faintly.
ad band from the 20s? Like,
Yeah.
Let me sell you some Vermintide there, son.
Whenever like
best radios in town, the most transistors, the most stations.
Vermintide, get them fast.
No, but literally, like whenever I think character gets eyesight, even if you don't personally catch it, if the computer senses, hey, that one of the boss guys is in the area, they throw a trigger saying, the assassin spotted or Rattling Gunner like coming. And when I was playing alone, like I always heard that. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I've never had issues with the Rattling Gunner guy because they'd always mention it, and then you'd see him like coming, and you just kind of wait, and then just rapid fire. I was just turning a corner. Because but yeah, maybe that's when you play together, you guys are just kind of stuck together, and you don't maybe hear those cues.
Yeah, and mostly because you're talking to each other, saying like, "Oh, I need healing." As soon as someone sees healing, or has anyone seen ammo? Anyone, please? I need ammo.
One thing about the 1920s guy, when you heal, they're like, "I need to heal." And it's very.
Is that Marcus Kruber? With the voice like that?
I don't know. I just heard it all the time. Like, I need to medicate.
Even playing solo, they like if a character comes up against ammo and they're full, they'll scream out ammo here or medic pack here. like the other side characters. So even it's kind of cool that even if you do play it alone, I guess you kind of get the teamwork and direction just by the AI naturally.
I remember there being lulls in our conversation, mostly because we had been through an area once or twice before, and everyone was quiet, and you could hear the characters talking to each other or the little comments that they make, and the writing in this game was hilarious.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
There were so many lines or little quips and exchanges of dialogue that actually made me laugh out loud, that I was not expecting this game to have the amount of personality that it did, and to be written as funny as it was.
Yeah, and the voice acting being as like, look, it's old-timey, like you can either lean into it or you can think that you're too good for it and like have the voice acting come off a little disingenuously, but like, yo, the voice acting was pretty good in this.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
The same dynamic that Legolas and Gimli had in Lord of the Rings, where like dwarves thought they were better than elves thought they were better than dwarves in this game too. If you have the two characters in, they always like try to one up each other.
Yeah, I think I heard stop stealing my kills, and why don't you aim for the head?
Always, that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Like, aim for the head, elf or whatever it is.
Fantastic. Yeah, there was so many lines and quips that I think there were moments where we just end up repeating lines back and forth to each other because they were so good. I'm actually disappointed that I can't remember any right now.
Mm-hmm. But one of us would laugh out loud and just we'd repeat it to each other and be like, "Yeah, we need to medicate."
And they had subtitles on the entire time.
Yeah.
So like you could like you're like, did I hear that? And you read it, and you're like, yep, I definitely heard that.
Although the thing that I feel like I need to point out is this game was clearly designed for PC. The UI is very PC centric. The subtitles are tiny. It's designed for someone who's a few, maybe a foot or two away from their monitor, as opposed to 8 feet away from their TV.
I'm glad you said that because I thought it was my eyes. Like the little reticle for your sword is just a dot, and I'm like, where? Like half the time I couldn't find where it was, and I was just like, you know what? I'll just kill 4 of these at the same time.
Do you remember when Dead Rising came out on the original Xbox 360? Or on the Xbox 360?
I think so.
I just remember everyone's complaint because I used to work in retail at that point, and they used to come in and be like, "It's a great game, but like the subtitles are this big on my 55-inch TV." So that's all that reminded me of, like the original jump to next gen graphics when they didn't realize that, hey, we need to scale these subtitles. So just had to throw that in there.
And it was just so clear that this is a PC centric game, and I was worried at first when we hopped on that it was going to be a rough go from a user experience perspective. But I think having a spirit guide in Toasty Coast and playing with friends where we were able to exchange little tips and tricks and things we figured out made it so much easier. Had to rely much less on the UX design.
Matchmaking, when you guys played the game, did you guys see like how many users were online or anything, or when connecting?
No.
Did it give you access to that?
No, it did not.
Okay, like so with me, essentially I had to like go to like a lobby browser and then look for games that are started. I started doing it with like in sequential order for each mission. As I unlocked them, I was like, okay, let me find this mission and who's playing it. I think the most live games I saw for each individual like mission was maybe 2 or 3, and they'd be
Really?
like Korea or like Australia, a couple like Germany, stuff like that. So there wasn't really that many live games. Then again, when did this game come out? 2-3 years ago?
2015.
3 years ago.
Totally makes sense. Like, because it was like I almost to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to connect. There's 1 or 2 missions where I was like, okay, I'm playing the solo with like bots, I guess, which makes me excited because you mentioned earlier in the podcast that there's another one coming out.
There's Vermintide 2 coming out.
Yeah. So
They ditched the end times, the subtitle, and it's just Warhammer Vermintide 2 coming Q1 2018.
Any details about like what it is or like what kind of, is it just Left 4 Dead 2, just better graphics and better weapons?
I haven't done any research
Nothing?
into it.
I watched a 2-minute trailer, and it looks pretty similar. The graphics look a little bit better. I think it's the last game that's going to be on this Autodesk Stingray engine, because they basically stopped the engine because they're like, yo, Unity and Unreal are pretty good. As Mo takes a bow. Why are you developing engines in 2018? You said it last night.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like, why are you developing on hard?
But it looks like a lot of the same. But that could be a good thing because I feel as though this game like has a very high like you really have to sell this game.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell.
And just to explain like the whole
Really?
the engine
Yeah.
thing, like why like everyone is switching to Unity, why everyone's switching to Unreal and other big time platforms, because these companies that develop these massive engines have entire teams, and their sole responsibility is making it work flawlessly on every type of device, every type of thing, and they keep it completely open. So if you want to modify something, you can modify it, and all the core mechanics from like menus to just navigation, first person controls are already built in. Why are you starting from zero? Why are you using old code that's going to have to be ported into something else when you already have this awesome framework that you can build all your pieces on, make it look flawlessly, it'll perform super well, and you can send it to consumers a lot quicker. It's like almost a no-brainer. The only reason you'd kind of stick to your old gun just to kind of say, hey, we made this from scratch, or we don't want to retrain our entire 300-person developer staff to learn this new framework. But now it's like, hey, it makes sense, dollars and cents wise. Might as well switch over.
High barrier to entry. Like, this
Why
game is
do you
hard to
find it
sell
a
to
sell?
people. So this is a really good game. I'm just going to say it
Okay.
right now. And you're looking at me and you're going, Jacob, think what? Because I was really cold on it when we started, right?
I just want to note for everyone who's listening that when we started, Jacob was the most sour. It was as if I was on the breaking edge of destroying Jacob's arm, twisting it that hard to get him to come on and play with us and have some fun with this game. And so many gripes. So many...
In the first couple hours,
yeah,
there
first
was.
couple hours, it was like, this is not a good game. It's almost as if this game is very bad every time there was a problem. And then slowly, Jacob came around, but I didn't think you would come this far around.
I was playing this game today by myself just because I've been caught so much in the high five Mo has been caught so much in like the loop trap of like, hey,
Really?
get better weapons, get better loot. Okay, now I'm going to be the blue weapons, and then like now I'm going to be the orange weapons, and I'm going to go up in difficulty. But I was super sour on this game because I didn't love Left 4 Dead, and like playing a Warhammer game. Like, sorry, I'm not invested in the universe, so like I don't really care. But this game is good for people who don't want to play Warhammer games. This is a good video game.
I want to chime in here, Jacob. The exact same experience. Originally playing it, was like, I don't know if I like this. It's just Left 4 Dead 2. Why do I want to play this? Okay, it's like Left 4 Dead 2. Okay, I can play this. Okay, whoa, I got a new weapon. Now I'm slicing and dicing. Well, there's another level? Okay, cool. And the best part about it, it's like quick consumption. You get that fix of you complete a mission, you get a reward, so you get all happy, and you close it. Exactly, the dopamine hit. So like, I got around to it, and I'm going to flat out say it right now, it's in my rotation. This is the first game that we've played, like, and I didn't know anything about it, and I almost hated it at first because I didn't know what the hell. Like, it was too complicated to understand. But it's like, for example, we played Papers, Please, and it was great. And I said in the podcast, I'm probably going to play it again to see the other levels. I still haven't. Tonight, I'm probably playing Vermintide too. Vermintide, I guess. And just to kind of keep it going. It's nice, quick little fix, first person, slice and dice, and progressing type of game.
So go ahead, Kevin.
I have two comments.
Yeah.
First off, quick consumption. The levels were like an hour long, and when I play,
No, you're okay.
no.
They're not an hour long. If you move forward in the levels and don't just sit there, it doesn't take an hour to play them.
All right, sorry that I can't find little tunnels, but when I played it solo, I played for 45 minutes. And I lost like the last 2 minutes, and it was just so demoralizing.
Okay, so
it
just to add on to that, Kevin, when I say quick consumption, it's like, so I play a lot of League of Legends, but I play ARAM in League of Legends. If no one knows what that is, it's a game type in League of Legends that lasts maybe like 20 to 30 minutes.
Is that the condensed one?
Yeah, where you get a random character and it's one lane. And in the regular League of Legends games last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I think that's way too long because like I don't want to commit this entire block. But ARAM is like 25 minutes at the very most, and that I think if I do that, that's a quick little consumption. Like this is my break for the day. Let me just play this and I'm done, or play two of them and I'm done. It's only less than an hour.
A game of Hearthstone is quick consumption.
Exactly. That's why I like Hearthstone. It's replayable for me as a game player. If it's quick consumption, it's great. But then again, I played Horizon recently. I think I've mentioned it before. That was several hours, and I probably put several hours into that. I'm willing to do that for the right game, but the majority of the time, I need a quick little treat, and then I'm off.
The note that you had about this being in the rotation, this is one of those games that I feel I'm going to say to Kevin and to Jacob at some point, hey guys, do you want to hop on and play some Vermintide?
Right, and it's genuine. It's not like hey, just it's on the podcast, let's play. I would never even attempt to do that. Like, and when I mentioned the Vermintide 2 coming out, I would not pay full price for a game because I don't like paying $70 for a game I'm not going to play. But this is probably going to be, if it looks pretty sweet, the first like 10-15% off sale, I might drop like $30-$40 on it.
I don't even think it's going to be that much money because I think this game came out and it was what, 20
retract my statement. I'll pay the
or
lowest
$30?
Pretty sure it was at $29.
They're going to hear this and they're going to be like, it's $60 just for this IP address.
I would imagine that it'll be a $30 game.
Yeah.
If it is, I'm probably going to pick it up just because I'll have like the user base. I guess there's going to be more people playing it, whereas now I'm assuming people a little bit dropped off. So with Vermintide 2, there's going to be more people to play with. I think they're going to be more engaged in like...
And I feel like... Oh,
go ahead, Kev.
All right. I feel like I had the same experience as you two as well, where I hopped in it and I was like, well, this is really complex. I don't know about anything about magic. And like all these weapons, different heroes. And I'm like, I have to learn all about these. And then I think it was the learning curve of it. And then right when Toasty Coast came on, and I was just like...
The legend
of Toasty Coast, and I was just like, everything kind of like I saw the world in like color. And, like, everything just makes sense now, and I get it. And so then I started enjoying the game because before I was just like, all right, I'll just throw a bunch of fireballs at rats, and that's just what my character does, and I'll just stick to this character and learn more about it.
Yeah, because there's so much variety, not only in the weapons but how they can be used. Because you have like a shield, and like learning how to control aggro with your shield and your shield block is important.
Yeah.
Your light swing versus your heavy swing and what that can do for different weapons. Sometimes it can, armor penetrate. Sometimes it can stun or, hit enemies away. Like learning that is interesting.
On that note, we didn't finish describing all of the different types of Skaven.
We did not.
We just got too excited.
So why don't we just go Gutter Runner?
Okay, Gutter Runner is the assassin.
Terrifying.
Pops out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Disappears like Batman. And just jumps on top of one of your party members and just starts stabbing away with these glowing green blades.
Green Lantern-esque blades.
And
Yes.
it's violent. Like he's pinning you down like a full mount in like UFC, and just like punching you. Grounding, pounding you with his fist, but his fists have giant green blades on them.
And the scariest part is when you're far away from your friends and you look back and there's a little green glowing like outline of them. It's just shaking. You're like, oh my God, what is happening to Rufy?
Yeah.
We got to go back and save him.
Even worse than that, your friends are far away and then you see the green thing up somewhere and you're like, okay, I'm not going to be able to take it down before it gets to me.
The amount
you just
of
accept
times
it.
that you and I used to yell, assassin, assassin. It was great. That and the Packmaster, who we called, because it had a hook, we called it the hooker.
The hooker.
We'd be like, hooker or assassin.
And the worst part was you didn't have any ammo in your ranged weapon and you heard there's a hooker around. You're like, I'm going to get hooked.
Literally, there's nothing.
I try to do my long sword and their hook is just so long. They're just like, nope. Got your neck.
Or when it hooks someone and starts pulling them away through a crowd of rats and you're trying to slash away through the rest to get to your friend and you're like, I'm coming, no.
And it's kind of gruesome when the hook rat just like puts you right up on the hook and then they're just
you.
like sitting up there by your neck. You're like, oh, that just feels painful to me, and I'm playing the video game.
Yeah, a little less scary is the poison rat globadier. I think is the name of that.
Throw the stink bombs.
That was more annoying than anything.
It's just a nuisance.
One thing I didn't like. Well, surprise. I felt like I didn't know when I was getting really damaged. Maybe because I didn't have the vibrate on the controller like you guys had. But on a mouse and keyboard, like you'd get like the visual cue sometimes, or like the screen would shake if you got hit in the back or something. But there's so many times where I'm playing the game and all of a sudden I have like 20% health. And I'm like, when did this happen?
I felt the opposite way, where like I kept seeing like all the red things around. I'm like, oh man, I'm taking so much damage. And I look and I'm like, I only have one little thing taken off of
What
me.
did your health bar look like? Was it a circle or something? Like,
No,
what was it? It was a bar, right?
It was a bar.
Yeah.
And then like it was sectioned off.
Okay, that's what I had exactly.
But we
you
also
had
had
directional.
when you were getting damaged a lot, you'd have red outlines on the outside of the screen to be like,
I don't think
yo
I had
dog,
that.
you getting the damage.
And it would be directional, so you knew if it was at the top, it was someone in front of you. If it was on the bottom of your screen, it was someone behind
maybe,
you.
I don't know. I don't want to say I didn't because wasn't paying attention too much to it. But there's so many times where I'm playing, and I realize, wow, I'm dropping in health, or I dropped in health, and I haven't like packed up anything at all.
So those are kind of the higher end level
Yep.
bosses. Then there's sort of the mid-level boss, the storm vermin. And these were Skaven that had full shiny metal plated armor.
They look like Spartans.
They looked like Roman legionnaires.
Yeah.
And they would come through and they had these big pole scythes, lances, something along those lines, that they would do a big overhead swing like a moblin from The Legend of Zelda. And they would push you, and they were very difficult to kill if you did not have a projectile. I found it was really tough to kill them, even as the witch doctor with the broadsword that you could just crowd control people with and swing away until your sword looked more like a bat because it was covered in blood. The only character that I found that could very quickly take care of these storm vermin was the witch.
Yeah.
3 fireballs to the face, and those storm vermin were collapsed on the ground. It was the easiest way to take care of one of the most difficult and annoying Skaven that you face consistently.
When I upgraded to the green dual flintlocks, it was about 3 or 4 shots, but you would still have to hit them in the head. Which I found shooting in this game on console was a lot easier than other games. I don't know if I'm just getting better at shooting because I'm pretty terrible.
They might also have like an auto lock on type thing.
Yeah,
too.
my bow definitely had auto aim, like an aim assist on it.
Yeah.
So like if I was directionally, like say there's a storm vermin, because I found my bow was pretty good at killing storm vermin if I headshotted them. Now if I was like pointing in the right direction and I zoomed in like you would the iron sights in any gun on any shooter, you iron sight and it would lock onto their head right away. Now you would have to like shoot it off right away, but if you auto aimed and then locked the head, like it would be flawless victory from there. So storm vermin, then there's the common, the clan rats and the Skaven slaves. But there was also the sack rat as well. That little rat that had the sack, that if you killed him, he had some items.
Oh,
I think we only saw him once or twice.
I saw him once.
I saw him a couple times, but I thought that he was... I think someone had mentioned that it was a hooker who had lost his pole. And so that's what I thought it was at first. And then we realized the one time that we were able to kill him that he actually just has a whole bunch of goodies in his little sack. He's a little Santa Claus rat running around.
Yeah. Now, Kev, you mentioned... Sorry, go ahead, Mo.
No, I don't think I've even seen any of those. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we only saw one, I think. Well, I only saw one.
I saw him a couple times. At least 2 or 3 times.
Kev, you mentioned a green weapon
Yes.
that you got that made it so much better for you. Do you want to kind of explain how the weapons work or the different types of weapons work?
So there's the common, which is like gray, and then green, blue.
Uncommon.
Yeah, green. And then in progression, it goes green, blue, then gold.
Rare, epic,
Yes.
and then legendary. It's the Diablo loot system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then there's purple loot, which is from the DLC, but you can upgrade them in multiple ways. Like you can play higher difficulties, or you can get things that unlock throughout, like the Forge.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that made me start liking this game is when I understood what forging was, and then we found that that little Shrine of Solace.
The Shrine of Solace.
The Shrine of Solace, and you could pray for weapons based on like you gave them rock, and then you prayed for weapons, and they gave you a weapon. So you gave the type of rock you gave is the type of weapon you got, and then you could also forge the weapons that you had to get the type of rock that it was made out of.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things playing this game was not quite in the moment of playing this game, but it was hanging in a party chat with you two as we were maybe playing a different game, and you guys said like, you guys want to hop on Vermintide? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's play for some weapons. Yeah, I can't wait to pray for some weapons.
Yeah. Jacob discovered it first. He's like, "Oh, you can pray for weapons," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, then I explained it to
you
you.
can pray for weapons.
All right, I'll do my Our Fathers right now.
Yeah, what do you mean pray for weapons?
There's this god up in the sky, and you say, "Hello, sir. I would like a purple weapon."
I give you rock, and you give me a weapon.
Send you an Amazon gift card.
Exactly. And then you could forage the weapons you prayed for. So like you get weapons for every type of character, and I only played 2, and then I was forced to only play 1.
You were not forced to
some
play.
mastermind who played the game with me, and so I foraged all the weapons that I had from other people and just prayed for the weapons for my guy, And then you can, what is it called? Mold, melt?
There's
Forge.
salvage. So there's fuse, which essentially you take 5 weapons from like the white class, and then you fuse them to go up 1 level. So you take 5 little commons, and they go and they become a green weapon.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I took all the weapons from everyone else, broke them down to rock, prayed for ones for my guy, and then fuse them all to get a better weapon.
Yeah, not only that, your weapons, once they get to like green or blue levels or orange, they have special abilities tied to them that you unlock by dumping more rock into them. But if you don't like the power that say you love your weapon, but you're like, hey, this power's not helping me at all, you can re-roll for a new ability. Or even if you like the ability, but the percentage chance of it hitting and having the thing happen is very low, you can even re-roll that percentage. So like you can be like, I'm going to spend 10 rock to see if I can have my percentage that I gain health every time I hit something go from 5 to 15.
Yeah, so if you love to gamble, this game is for you.
It definitely hits a lot of those loot box type hooks.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gambling for.
And then there's contracts that you get later, which are basically like, hey, do this level and do this thing in the level, and then we're going to give you extra weapons or rocks, or it gets its claws in there.
It's a good game.
Like an assassin.
And there's DLC like an assassin. There's DLC for the game, some free, some paid. The structure of the game is there are acts, which have levels within each act that you can beat on 5 different difficulty levels, and that's how you get to 100% in the game, is you beat every single level on the 5 different difficulties. We basically only did like easy and some normal. I tried hard today, and it's difficult. Like you gotta get like your weapons up before you even try them. It's a vicious cycle.
I'm happy to grind this.
I read the subreddit, and they were like, hey, as soon as you can do it easy, like move on to the next difficulty level.
Oh, fun fact, I just pulled up the Vermintide 2 release like info. So it says Q1 2018. Last like update was like in October of 2017, saying, hey, this game is coming up. So it could come out, I guess, really soon.
They had an even a recent update in January of 2018 on the Xbox Wire blog promoting it.
Yeah, it doesn't have the actual, on Steam it says it doesn't have the actual date, but it says Q1 2018. And if you pre-order now, you get 10% off, and it's $29 Canadian. If you get like the collector's edition, it's $46. So it's a lot less than I was expecting. Guys, I'm probably buying this. I'm not gonna, it's something, it's a first person shooter that I like. It looks great from these like trailers that's in front of my face. Yeah.
Are you going to buy it on console and join the dark side?
Nah, I can't do that.
So level design.
So one of the things, I don't know how you guys found it. I mean, I know how Jacob and Kevin found it. I don't know how you found it, Mo. I found the level design in this game to be pretty good. There was no point or very few points that I found I didn't know where I needed to go. And I thought it was very good at providing little breadcrumbs to keep me moving forward. If it wasn't a very clear, downward slope that you had to walk down or upward slope, there were always little patches of Skaven that would lead you to where you needed to go. So, if you were in a tight city and it wasn't, you didn't know whether you needed to go out into the street or you needed to go into this building, they usually put a couple Skaven inside the building, so you knew like, oh, okay, these are the little breadcrumbs I need to go and kill before I move on to the next area. Did you find it?
Yeah, so little yes and no. There's one. First of all, when you guys played it, you guys had 3 people kind of like deciding to go places. So your breadcrumbs that you thought were breadcrumbs were just because you had a community of people looking for different directions. So sometimes probably Kevin pulled you somewhere, Jacob probably pulled you somewhere, and the magical character that helped you in this game, what was her name? Yeah, she probably helped you a lot too. With me, there was, and I even at the reviews I saw afterwards, there were some points where you don't know where you're going to go until you wait for the trigger and the game realizes, hey, you've stayed in the area so long. They'll mention, hey, why not that way? Or they'll say something to kind of push you along, not this way kind of thing. So you get lost not pretty easily, but some of the times. And if you are playing with people like we recommend, you probably will have a better time and you'll enjoy the level design better because you won't have those like hiccups where you're like, where am I going?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a comment about level design. And it's probably because I was left behind a couple times because I just
you're in the right place.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry.
This is I didn't get it. The name of the podcast.
I didn't mean to.
You totally did. Go ahead.
So I was forgotten before. And so, like, I was like, oh, where do I go? And it was, like, this dark... Again, my eyes, they're terrible now. This dark tree that you went through that went up, and I couldn't really see from the side that you could go in the tree or whatever. And, like, so I was left behind. And, like...
Zing.
Again, sorry. But then I was like, okay, maybe Roofy has a point. Like, oh, this is great level design. I was always like, I don't know. There's always dark nooks.
Perfect.
Cranny.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There's lots of parts where you're kind of like, where am I going?
Yeah, and like there's parts where you go in to look for dice and tomes and lore book pages and health and all that. So there's like tons of rooms to explore that I don't know. And so I played it solo just to double check that my opinion was right for me, I guess. And so I went, and there was a queue that said, oh, maybe we should head down here. But I thought it was the door to the right, so I kept going around, and like it was probably just like an opening that was probably like shoulder width of the character, and I didn't find it for about 15 minutes. And I was like, I don't know if level design is it's okay. I'll say it's okay. I'll meet you in the middle.
Okay, so I feel like I'm closer to Mike in that, like, hey, they did some smart things. For me, the smartest thing was a lot of the time they'd have you drop down and you weren't able to go back any further. So you're like, hey, that whole part of the level is cut off. I can't go back that way. I know that I have to navigate in this general direction. What I appreciated about level design that we haven't mentioned is that there was not a lot, but there's a little bit of variety in the types of things you would have to accomplish. So, like, say there's a mission where you have to pick up these flour bags, or you have to destroy these couplings, or you have to destroy...
Take these barrels that explode and put them in the wheel.
Exactly. And a lot of the time, like, you're moving forward and it's like a narrow corridor, and then it opens up where it's like, hey, collect these things. There wasn't a ton of variety in the main game. In the DLC, they did some cool stuff that we didn't play. They threw in a torch where, like, if you're outside in the darkness, you get damaged, but you need to actually hold the torch and keep going. I want to say they did some cool stuff with variety of, like, level size and, like, types of structures of engagement. I don't know if I'm an entitled gamer, but sometimes, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, where do I go? I would have loved to have a waypoint just be like, hey, go this way.
Yeah.
But that's my entitled gamer coming out.
But yeah, at the same time, like, waypoints are great. Those little alerts are great. But I don't know. This game, it wasn't too hard to find my way, even though there were parts where I'm like, where am I supposed to go? But it wasn't frequent enough for it made me not want to play. Just I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. And then eventually you got to the next spot and kept moving.
I think a lot of what this game did was create a drive in me to keep moving forward, because you know that if you stay around, more Skaven are coming after you.
That's why you kept saying, like, we need to keep moving. Yeah. We need to keep moving.
Yeah. And so I felt this real pressure to continue to keep moving. And so my brain was intently focused on how do I continue to move forward.
I have a funny point about that exactly.
And so I felt a lot of the time I was just dragging our party along, like, come on, guys, we got to move. We got to keep going. And everyone was like, but we're looking for dice.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of like just looking around, just admiring walls and stuff.
I need the better weapons.
And I'm not gonna poo-poo anyone finding some dice so I can get better weapons.
To be fair, I should have just took like a strategy, just follow every wall to my right, and then eventually I'll find it. But yeah,
you're like a blind mouse.
I was just kind of looking around.
Right.
Yeah, so it was while playing like by myself with like the random people around the world, there was not much like vocal communication, but sometimes someone would message something. But one of the things I started to do was like I just followed whoever was the most confident and the fastest walking in a direction. I'm like, they know where they're going. But to go talk to Rufy, because I got a little nervous at one point, I just started exploring and they started following me, and I'm like, whoa. I have no idea where I'm going.
Well, usually they look at your level there and like, oh, he's level 60.
No, but there was one point like, I was low, but one day I was just like walking away. I jumped up somewhere and everyone was behind me. I'm like, I don't know if we're supposed to go this way, guys.
Graphics. Serviceable?
It's great.
Totally fine.
Yeah, it's great.
You can't expect a game that has hundreds of enemies coming at you, or with that many different characters in an environment that big to look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, different animations, different characters, different effects, mages, gunshots, the different things that's happening. It's
not going to be Crisis.
And it's 2015 is when it was released. I guess that's PS4-ish title. Like it looked. I played it on my PC and it was great. It was a great AAA-ish graphic title, but it wasn't like Shadow of War or anything like that.
It's like a better Left 4 Dead. It reminded me of Dead Island a little bit.
Way better than Left 4 Dead 2.
I've never played Dead Island.
So it reminded me because there's a system in Dead Island where you can like decapitate zombies and like cut off their limbs. Dead Space, like
Right,
there's a lot of that, but Dead Island is like, hey, it's on an island. There are lots of zombies on screen at the same time, and also with the weapons, you have like an analog. Weapon control component where you can like, hey, I'm gonna hit his arm or hit his leg. So kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Can we also just go back a minute, talk about the Witch Hunter's broadsword, and when you charge up the attack and slice through a Skaven, perfect, like just a clean cut, and it's just like a pair of legs standing there in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, where did the top half go? One of the most satisfying. I think there were moments throughout the game that I kept telling you guys, like, there is nothing I find more satisfying than crowd controlling these rats.
In the sound that it made, I could like when there's like a million rats coming at you and you're just doing the charged attack like 4 or 5 times. It's like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I was like, oh, that's so good.
One thing that I think was
feels.
done really well was that feedback. When you, no matter what you shot, if you shot someone from far away with a bow and arrow, it had that quick little X or that little noise that tick, you got them, and then they dropped or whatever it is. It's just small little feedback that's sometimes not there, but they did it pretty good
Well
here.
designed.
In the basic rats, when you hit them in the head, they do like a little pencil dive little shape, and then they just fall forward. I found that hilarious.
Yeah, and my character could actually cut off, Barden could cut off certain limbs. So like you'd cut his arm off and he'd just,
The other thing is whenever you killed one of those the big guys, I guess, like the armored person, it would say you killed this person, and you just kind of like subtly like, yeah, I did that.
Everyone saw that.
Yeah, I know you guys helped, but I did that.
Yeah, we had that in the chat. They're like, oh, I killed him, and I'm like, actually, I killed him.
You just
Thank
final
you.
shot it.
Yeah.
I got all the damage. You just sat there.
Kill steal.
Yeah, stop stealing my kills.
It was really good at the end of a mission to see the breakdown of who did what and how everyone panned out.
Everyone's nervous, like,
I thought it was
gotcha.
great, though, because there were so many different variables and things that they looked at that even if you weren't the first in kills, you could feel good about doing a lot of damage. Or if you weren't good at damage or kills, you could feel good about having saved your allies.
And if you didn't do all those, you survived.
Yeah, but it did a good job of rewarding people for doing a variety of different things, as opposed to just being you killed the most people.
Except the most important stats were the first 3 that they showed you, and it was roofie.
Yeah, storm vermin kills, and damage taken.
Done, yeah. And then I was like hero saved. Kevin with 1. Like, yeah.
Or everyone got
one.
0, but Kevin is first.
If
Yeah.
you weren't around to pat my butt, I wouldn't have been able to get up.
That was another hilarious thing, is the animations to save people. You're just like, come on, guys. Let's get
Just
up now.
patting them?
Let's get up now. Okay, you're good.
The amount of times Mike would just go, guys, I need a pat on the butt.
It was great. I loved it. I felt we had just not only great moments, in the missions themselves, the little stories that unfolded, but it was just great to hang out with friends in like a different environment than games and what I'm used to.
If you do not have friends to play this game with, do not play this game.
Really,
Is that
Mo?
Mo?
No, I say play it. Like right now, because I guess it's like dying off because the new one's coming out. If you need a new game to like play like with co-op with the online community, it's a nice little change of pace. Like, it's not that expensive. Like, I don't know how much it'll be for Xbox or PS4, but for PC, it's $30. It's wait till it goes on sale. Obviously, that's always what everyone says, but I'm going to be buying it, and I don't want to spend that much money on games. And I think I'm going to be buying this new one.
I think it was great that we played it on the Xbox because there was clearly an influx of players.
You need community.
We always had someone slot in. There was only one mission that we played where we had an AI bot the whole time. But in every other case, usually within the first minute, we had someone slot in. In almost every case, they were higher leveled than us, knew what they were doing more than us. But it was great to have people drop in and drop out.
And we came out with great stories. I mean, one that I think would be a good place to close the podcast is we had a point, and it was on, I forget which level, one of the coast, like the dock levels.
Black powder.
The black powder level.
The most difficult level.
The most difficult level. We were running to the exit, and our compatriot, not the three of us, but the person we'd been playing with, they died. And they were in the party chat with us.
And they were just like, leave me behind.
She was like, leave me behind. Because we were so far ahead. Somehow she'd gotten behind us. And we're like, no, we are not leaving you behind. Yeah. So our health was not good. We went back together.
That's when the Rocky music came on.
Yeah. I think we were pretty quiet after the mission because that was our last one. But after, I think, our fourth left, we were like, that was so cool. Yeah. We went back and got her, and we won the level.
Also, so the exit to every level is this carriage that you get in. And your carriage driver...
Olesya's coach.
Olesya? Okay. She's just sitting there the entire time while we're fighting. We're fighting rats. We're going back for our friend there who's died, and we have to save her. And she's just like, hurry up, guys. Like, I'll just be here with my horse while you guys take care of all these rats that are surrounding you, and that beastly rat as well.
I loved closing the coach door on you guys as you were trying to come in.
Hey, we need to get in. We're dying here. Nope, it's fine. Yeah. Stay out there for a little while. Get some sun.
I love that.
Get some sun with the rats.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts about the game? I think we've pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, I think I don't know about you guys, but I liked it. I really enjoyed this game, and it's going to be my rotation.
I came in with fairly low to moderate expectations, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. It's a game that I will probably bug you guys both to come back and play every once in a while.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have played this game because I haven't played any game like this. And you guys told me to play it, so I did. I gave it a shot. I liked it. It's really fun. I'd play it again.
So, have you seen? Do you know Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Are you familiar with him?
Which one is that?
No.
He's the wrestler with the giant biceps.
Oh, Stone Cold.
Is he the one that
Kane with the mask?
The one that cooks things?
The Undertaker.
Yeah, he does.
He's the Undertaker.
I
know the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. The Undertaker.
Yes, we know who Dwayne The Rock Johnson is.
He has a new movie based on the original Jumanji film.
Oh, really?
Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. That movie.
Is this a paid sponsorship?
No, it's not. But
okay.
I watched it, and I was so pleasantly surprised at how wonderful the movie was. I'm exactly like it with this game.
Wow.
I and you can tell me this.
I can vouch.
You can vouch for this, Mike. I hated this game when we started.
You did. You were the most sour
I kind of was too.
I'm like, I don't want to play this. You had to sell this game really hard for us to even play it, and I just was like, I hate this. I hate this so much. I turned the corner hard. This is a good video game. If you have, I would not go as far as you said, Mo, as like, I think you need at least one friend to play this with.
Yeah, you have to. But I was just saying in general, like, you could keep it. Is there split screen at all on Xbox?
I don't think so.
Then, you know what, yeah, I'd say if you have a couple people to play with it, then do it, but...
I understand there's a good subreddit for this game, so maybe that's somewhere you could find players, but I would say, like, play this game if you have one other person. Like, you don't need three or two other... If you have one other person to experience this game with, do it, because you're going to learn together, you're going to have a lot of fun, and if you like Left 4 Dead, like, this is a video game.
And you know what? The community of Vermintide restored some of my faith in humanity. We met a random person online who is one of the sweetest human beings with the most patience I've ever come across. So... I would say, hey, you know what? See if you can join a party and see if those people are nice, because
it's the first time I went into a game and joined a party where someone didn't tell me to uninstall it.
or made comments about anyway. Yeah. That's a episode. We did it. Mike, what you have a business?
I have business. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, if you guys if you thought it was good, you should go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Let us know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want different, whether you want more or less Kev in your life. We can, I've got a lot of Kev in my life. We can see about in the pod. Mo, is there anyone that we're throwing to this week? Any shout outs?
I'm taking a look now, but if you do actually leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, you will get a shout out from myself, Jacob, or Mike, or maybe our special guest of the podcast. So feel free to drop one. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. And if you didn't like the podcast, feel free to throw us an email at questions@leftbehindgame.club.
And tell us what you didn't like.
Mhm.
And Jacob, where can the people find you at?
If folks want to watch me play most of the games we play in the Left Behind Game Club, they can do so at jacobstreams.com. I did not play Warhammer Vermintide. We co-streamed on Mixer for a little while,
We did.
which was interesting. I'd never used Mixer before. If you want to find me online as well, you can do so at Jacob McCourt. My social media binge, or purge rather, is almost done. So by the time the next episode comes out, you can see me on social media.
Interesting. And Mo, where can people find you
You can
at?
find me at Murtadi across the board. That's MMURTADI on all social media platforms.
And Mr. Kev, what would you? Where'd you like people to find you at?
You can't find me anywhere.
Send a raven.
Yeah, send a raven. I'm I guess accidentally doing the purge of social media, but you can find me at questions@leftbehindgameclub.com.
We'll get you connected.
Where can people find you on Xbox?
Oh, it's a tribe called Kev.
Because he's got great taste in rap
That's
music.
a great name.
It actually is. I didn't bring it up earlier because I didn't want to make a big deal, but I love that name. It's a
Yes,
great name.
I mean,
You did well.
Thank you.
And Mike, where can people find you?
And so everyone can find me at Ruffolo M on almost every single social media platform, or you can find me at michaelruffalo.com. And that wraps up the show. That, my friends, is one less game left behind.